Today I'll be reacting to Culture Shock for a French Girl in America. Okay, but before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much, my friend. This is the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description and let's play it.
Coucou tout le monde, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk
Coucou
about
tout le
some
monde.
of the culture shocks I experienced while I was
Okay.
living abroad in the United States for 5 years.
5 years? Oh wow. Okay.
So the first culture shock I experienced was right off the gate, right when I came out of
What?
the car in the United States, was to see American flags everywhere. So it
Okay.
seems weird to say that. I know some Americans were like, what do you mean? Yeah, we have flags everywhere. That's normal. It's our country. But just
To be honest, this is a big culture shock because Americans are very proud of their country, and to be honest, it's an amazing country. By the way, I really like the American flag. I think it's a beautiful one, but it's kind of rare to see, for example, in my country, the Portuguese flag, unless it's something related with the government or a special occasion. But it tends to be rare. It seems like this is totally the opposite in America. I like it personally. I mean, I think there is nothing wrong about being proud of our country. To be honest, I said this other times, and it's true. America is the number one country in the world. So if there is a country you should be proud, it's the USA.
just weird because it's not something we're used to. Like in France, you won't see that many flags. You will see French flags on like government buildings and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But usually people won't have French flags in their front yard or whatever. But in the US, it's a lot more common. I mean, I know so many people that have American flags in their front yard. It's just something we don't really do in France. So yeah, coming to the United States and seeing American flags everywhere in people's backyard, in people's front yard, in people on top of people's car.
It's
was just
fascinating.
something, I don't know, it's just really fun to see, and I loved it. I think it's pretty cool
Yeah.
that people are really proud of their country and put flags everywhere. I think it's cool. I feel like maybe it's a little too extra because I'm not used to it, but I think it's really cool. It's just like the first American culture shock I experienced.
Okay, before we go into the second one, I totally agree with that. It's kind of interesting that Europeans don't have that proud. I should not speak for all Europeans, of course, but a lot of Europeans don't have that proud that Americans have for their own country. But when we come to America, it seems like people tend to see all the flags. So maybe we should learn something from you guys. I'm just saying.
So the second one is pretty obvious, but it's gun culture. So
This for me is the biggest culture shock Europeans probably experience when they go to America. I would love to shoot guns, specific in Texas.
gun culture is really big in the United States. You have the Second Amendment with the right to carry a gun and defend yourself, something you don't have in France. So I grew up in France and I lived there 17 years before going to the United States. So for 17 years, I grew up not around guns at all. I only saw guns on police officers and I never touched a gun in my life. So
Me neither. I mean, I know this may sound weird for a lot of you guys, but I never touch it again.
I came from that and then came to the United States in Pennsylvania where there are a lot of hunters and people that believe in the Second Amendment. And it was huge. It was a huge culture shock because I
Really?
came in
Pennsylvania?
and I had so many people talking about the Second Amendment that carry guns around, that had many guns in the house, that go, I don't know, it was just such a big culture shock, you know? And yeah, so I went to the gun range many times because, like I said, I had a lot of friends that had guns themselves. So they took me to the gun range, kind of taught me how to use a gun safely and how to shoot targets and stuff like that, which was really fun, and I'm glad I got to experience that.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm agreeing with that a lot, to be honest. I also would love to experience that. The reason I say, and I guess I should explain myself a bit better on this, the reason I say this is the biggest culture shock, my friends, for example, let's say with a flag. Okay, we don't have flags everywhere like Americans have, but we have that option if we want, right? Basically, something that we don't care that much. You guys are really proud of America, but we have the option to also be proud of our country, right? We don't have the option to have a gun. Okay, you go to jail, basically. Of course, if you have a specific license, maybe there is a couple of options you can try to find a pet to have one, but not a pet, an animal. You guys, a pet. Okay, but it's something that it's basically illegal, So that's why I believe it's the biggest culture shock. But it's also the thing that I know, and I put myself into that a lot of Europeans would love to try when they go to America is to shoot some guns because, again, that's the place to do it.
But I still never got used to gun culture. Even after 5 years, I lived around a lot of people that carry guns. I seen a lot of guns. I touched a lot of guns. I shot some guns. But I never really got used to it. Because I think growing up for 17 years in a country that doesn't have that culture, even after 5 years, it doesn't change the fact that it's kind of scary to you because
This is a fair
grew up
point.
around them. And yeah, I think it's just something I would probably never completely get used to, but I'm glad I got the chance to go to gun range and stuff like that. So another thing that was kind of a culture shock for me when coming to the United States was seeing the school spirit around each school that we don't really have in France.
Okay.
So for example, like in France, like clothes-wise, in the United States, you can get so many clothes related to your school and not in France. In France, right now in my college, you probably can get one shirt, maybe one hoodie with your school logo on it, and that's pretty much it. And that's already a big deal. Like, oh, there is one shirt with a logo on it. In the United States, like people own like.
I never had anything with the logo of my school. I feel like, and if I had, I don't even. Basically, was not relevant. I don't even remember.
5 hoodies with their logo, their school logo on it, and like 5 T-shirts and 2 cups and 10 pencils and whatever. In high school and colleges, you can find stores. Like their own school will have a store selling so many derived products about their school. Like,
oh wow! Even in public school, my friends, this happens. I in private school, I thought okay. Even in private school, you have a uniform, you have a lot of, let's say, merchandising related with the private school. But public school, no chance.
Just so weird to me because we don't have that in France at all. So it's really fun to
Interesting.
see. I think it's really cool that people are so proud in their school and that it kind of creates a really school spirit. People are kind of tight because they're like from the same school. So I think this is really cool. So another culture shock was 24-hour stores. So it's a really...
That's amazing. That's another thing that Americans do very well. Pisses me off sometimes. Oh, yeah, the store is already closed. I cannot go. This happens so many times to me here. And yeah, after midnight, nothing is open. I guess McDonald's is open until 2 a.m. or something like that. But that's about it.
Fun, lighthearted...
I don't live in Lisbon, by the way. In Lisbon, maybe a bit different, but in my city, no.
Culture shock, but in France you will not find 24-hour stores. Actually, our stores close pretty early. I think it's like around 9:30 p.m. at night, and sometimes it closes on complete.
Here, 9 tends to be the normal close time to a lot of stores. Some stores go until 23, in this case 11 p.m. But more than it's almost impossible.
Completely on Sundays or at least the afternoon. So it was really weird to see stores that are open 24 hours and many of them.
But
so
it's amazing.
One of the most famous, Walmart. I think it was just so weird to me. I remember one time I was in my friend's house.
Wait, Walmart is open 24 hours? I thought such a big store... okay. What about Costco?
And it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and we were so bored. Like we didn't know what to do and we didn't want to go to sleep yet. And she said like, oh, well, let's go to Walmart and let's go buy.
What? Okay, what type of people you find at 5 a.m. on Walmart? Let's be real, that's crazy. No. I cannot even imagine me doing shop at 5 a.m. in Walmart.
Some stuff. And it's just so weird you can do that because you can do that in France. So it's just really fun to me that you can go at 1 a.m. in a store and go buy stuff, and it's just something that we can do in France, so it's really fun to be able to do it somewhere else. So one other big culture shock I experienced, and I talk about it in many videos, is customer service. So customer service is completely different in France and in the United States. And when you come to the United States, when you're used to it, it's really weird to be at a restaurant and having waitress come to you many times to ask you how you're doing, if your food is good, if you need a refill. Like it's so weird because when you go to France, like people, like waitress don't come to you. Like you have to ask them to come to you, or they won't. Like you just sit down, they will give you.
Yeah, more or less the same here. But it depends. There is certain places here that even if I know a lot of you guys may relate with this with the tipping culture, but a lot of restaurants, if you can have a great service, others specific comparing with America, maybe not that great. But I don't know. I'm not even sure if this is about the tipping culture because I also, from my interaction with you guys, Americans tend to be very friendly. So I don't know. Maybe it's just different personalities.
Your plate and stuff like that, but that's it. They don't come to ask you how. I mean, it's more rare. It's coming in a little more, but it's more rare, and you just don't have that kind of customer service. So that was really strange. I didn't like it at first because I was like not used to it.
Didn't like it? Oh, I would love that. What?
So I'd like to be able to eat without anyone talking to me. But then I'm more used to it, and now I'm back to France. I like miss it a lot because sometimes in restaurants you will like be trying to find a waiter. It will take so much time. You're like, please, can someone come?
Yeah, this happens here a lot also.
And it will take so much time. But in the US, you don't even have to ask. Like, they will come and they will refill you water and ask you how you're doing. And so, yeah, there's a lot more customer service, I guess. So I miss that a lot. Another culture shock was the difference in the relationship between students and teachers between France and the US. It's pretty different. In France, it's a lot more strict, and in the US, it's a lot more chill. So in France, I would not really, especially in high school, I would not really talk to my teachers in between breaks or outside of school. You know, if you see them, I would not ask them certain questions. I will be, I don't know, I will not feel very confident in talking with them. But in the US, teachers are so much chill. Like, the first time they introduce themselves, it's really funny. They usually talk about their personal life. I mean, I know a lot more.
What? Okay, that's amazing.
More about their personal life that I probably should. In France, I don't know almost anything about my teacher's personal life in high school. And yes,
I mean, it depends, but most of the time I have no idea what my teachers did after, school. No, they don't share that with you.
So yeah, that was really funny to see. And even you feel more comfortable talking to them. You feel like you can. I mean, even sometimes I will have questions that is not completely related to the actual class, but something related to that, or I had a problem, or as an exception. So, I was saying that sometimes I had other problems, and I will feel confident, like talking to them and asking them questions. They will be so open to help me out. But in France, like, it's not like that so much in high school. You barely talk to your teachers. It's now the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Oh, I had a lot of fun.
Make sure to like and turn on the bell, because apparently YouTube doesn't even notify the subscribers if I post videos, or at least not every single time. So if you do want...
Actually, this is true, my friends. I ask for you guys to subscribe a lot of times. I'm sorry for doing this shameless plug, but if you guys don't activate the bell, I don't even know the correct expression. Basically, you guys don't get the notification. Being a subscriber nowadays, from what I understand, is not enough. You don't have to do it, but if you like my content, consider to do it.
Want to get notified, turn on the bell. And yeah, I will see you next time. À la prochaine.
Okay, thank you. This was a great video, my friends. A lot of interesting culture shocks, I would say. The American flag being everywhere, I thought was a really interesting one. I love it, like I said. The gun culture, I cannot change my perspective on this. I will die thinking it's the biggest culture shock between Europeans and Americans, even if I would love to try guns. But overall was a great... American school and public school... I end up sharing a lot of different culture shocks related with the topic, but I also believe the schools are quite different. I also have videos reacting to even public and private school in America, and the difference tends to be noticed when I compare with the examples I have here in Europe. If you want to find out more about that, check those reactions. That said, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Really means a lot that you guys end up spending this time with me. It's always a pleasure. Do not forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the bell, right? All the good stuff. See you guys in the next one. Bye.